Welcome to Andy Audio Vault. By the time you're watching this, it is already 2025. So, Happy New Year to each of you, and thank you for a very successful 2024. Successful, especially for Andy Audio Vault, because this year I have achieved two major milestones. First one being 10,000 subscribers, and then very recently 15,000 subscribers. From the bottom of my heart to you, thank you so very much. Let's just reflect on 2024. I guess it is better late than never because I do have quite a lot of stuff which I covered in 2024. And with me here in front of me, I have a list of some of the items, some of the audio gears, anything from IM all the way to DAC amp, dongles, and you name it, even TWS. And each category, I would identify 5 best of the best for 2024. Let's just get things started. I have with me here a list, some of the items for 2024, and for in-ear monitors, IEMs, I have 4 different kind of segment or categories, under $50 all the way to $3,000. So let's just get started with the budget segment, under $50. The top 5 for IEMs under $50 in 2024, starting at number 5 is KZ Linglong. KZ Linglong is a prime example that you can achieve proper tuning, which is transparent, neutral, and fairly resolving from anything under $50. I am just impressed with that KZ Linglong. And sitting at number 4, Tanjim 1. Not really a surprise because Tanjim 1 is a direct successor to the highly amazing Tanjim 0, which I really love from year 2022 all the way to 2023. Sitting at number 3, another KZ. Again, not a surprise as well because KZ is in this game since forever. They know what they're doing. And KZ ZS10 Pro 2 is one example of a highly dynamic, engaging, punchy, and fun-sounding IM with proper amount of details. And then, sitting at number 2, a big surprise actually, RT-T10. A surprise because this is the most affordable magnetic planar that you can find in the market nowadays. It is something which I would regard as pretty much very similar to Heidi's MP145, which is one of my favorite, at around 90% of what you can expect from MP145. Sitting at number 1, Caffeine Clean here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you have seen my review on it, I don't have to explain too much. This is one very clean sounding IM with a kind of balance which is proper. Proper because I am hearing great amount of analytical resolution and then of course the balance of musicality. It is so versatile that you can literally use it for anything from monitoring, listening to music, watching movie and even gaming. And the next one, without doubt, the most hotly contested segment in IEMs, under $100. I have seen so many amazing IEMs being released in 2024 in this particular segment. And in fact, it was difficult for me to pick the top 5 that I have decided to pick more than 5. And sitting at number 5, SIMGOT EA500LM together with NF Acous RA15. Both of them being amazing because they are very well balanced with the tuning itself. Fairly analytical, musical, and so very versatile that you can use them for anything from music, movies, gaming. Sitting at number 4, Tanjim 4U and Caffeine Delcy AE. Now, this Tanjim 4U is kind of a bit special because it offers 4 different kind of sound experience by just simply changing the switch. I especially love the natural and the monitoring mode of 4U because it offers the kind of sound which is super transparent, super neutral, and the kind of resolution which is amazing for under $100. And then we also have this Caffeine Delcy AE, which I consider in the same segment as SIMGOT EA500LM and also NF Acous RA15, but it does offer kind of a bit, an upper hand when it comes to overall body of sound. And then sitting at number 3, Sivga Shui. This Sivga Shui is a warm sounding IM. It reminds me a lot to my all-time favorite, which is Sivga Nightingale. I might even say that this is the little brother of Sivga Nightingale because it offers the kind of dynamic driver, sort of warmth, smoothness to the overall sound presentation anywhere from lower frequency, mid-range to the upper frequency. It is highly musical, the timbre is just amazing, and of course, you're not gonna get any kind of fatigue from this Sivga Shui. And sitting at number 2, Ross Technic Star City 5 Pro. If you have seen my review on it, then I don't have to explain much. This is one very well-tuned IM which defies the price. I do believe that the kind of sound quality I am getting from this SC5 Pro is more like over $100 and it offers, again, the keyword here of balance, being musical, very well tuned. It does not offer any kind of coloration that much at all. It offers proper amount of transparency, especially in the mid-range and upper frequency, and with just mild coloration in the mid-bass and the sub-bass region. And sitting at number 1, Dunu Titan S2. This S2 is very special. Special because I have found this S2 to be highly versatile at any kind of music, especially if I want proper amount of transparency, neutrality in the upper frequency and also in the mid-range, and it offers the kind of treble performance which is non-metallic, organic, and with the kind of air and sparkle which is easy for me to love. Also a very hotly contested segment which is under $200, and here we have sitting at number 5, Aful Explorer. Aful Explorer is a prime example of a very well-tuned Harman sort of sound tuning. It offers the kind of overall smoothness which is airy, which is pleasant, which is totally non-offensive. If you are sensitive to treble and if you love sub-bass, then Aful Explorer gets my recommendation. Then sitting at number 4, another magnetic planar, which is Leica S08. This S08 is literally the warmest sounding magnetic planar which I have heard so far, which also means that it offers quite a lot of richness in the body of the sound itself and the kind of very smooth decays, especially in the lower frequency and even in the upper frequency. Sitting at number 3, another surprise, which is CCA Hydro. CCA Hydro is the peak, the pinnacle of KZ and CCA tuning. It offers the kind of amazing resolution, imaging, details, layering, technicalities, which is quite a surprise for under $200 IEM. And then sitting at number 2, Tin Hi-Fi P1 Max 2, another magnetic planar. And this is an interesting magnetic planar because it sounded more like a dynamic driver with the kind of lower frequency which is rich and dense, with the kind of mid-bass which is super impactful, with the kind of sub-bass which extend really deep. And this is easily a best head recommendation coming from me. And sitting at number 1, no surprise there, Hydis MP143, the successor to Hydis MP145, which was super successful in year 2022 or even 2023. Hydis MP143 offers the kind of refinement which can be expected from Hydis MP145. Under $500, another segment which is highly contested as well in 2024 because we have seen so many amazing releases that year 2024 under this particular price category. Starting at number 5 for Andy Odobok, Aful Performer 5+2 or known as Aful P7. Direct successor to the highly successful Aful P5, you can expect similar kind of quality and perhaps an improvement on the resolution, the imaging, the technicalities. And Aful P7 is so versatile that you can literally use it for anything. From gaming, music, you name it, it is non-offensive and easily likable. And sitting at number 4, Let's Shure Cadenza 4. This is perhaps one of the very best Harman tuned IM, which I consider as close to being neutral, transparent and uncolored. It is so good that you can even use it for monitoring. And sitting at number 3, Tanjim Origin. Not really a surprise there because I do believe that Tanjim Origin represent the pinnacle of Tanjim sound tuning in 2024. You can expect proper amount of, in fact, impressive amount of technical prowess from the Tanjim Origin. It is highly scalable, the better your source, the better the sound gets, and also it is highly adaptable to pretty much anything. And sitting at number 2, Ross Technic QTX Deluxe. Consider it like this, it is pretty much very similar in many ways to Tangim Origin, but I do feel that this QTX Deluxe from Ross Technic offer a bit more of refinement, especially when it comes to the air, to the element of smoothness overall. And sitting at number 1, Luxury S12 2024, which happened to be one of my favorite for 2024. A magnetic planar. This is the pinnacle, the peak of magnetic planar. Luxury S12 2024 is in fact better than Heidi's MP145, which was my favorite last year. Last but not least, 500 to 3,000 US dollar. Sitting at number 5, we have High Senior Mega 5 EST. You might have seen so many positive reviews on this. You might have seen my positive review on Mega 5 EST, and you might have heard so many owners loving it. For the simple fact that this Mega 5 EST is just so very easy to like. It is a prime example of properly tuned Harman-inspired sound with the kind of proper balance of technicalities and musicality, and it is free from any kind of fatigue element. You can listen to it all day long. At number 4, Elysian Pilgrim Noah, the black version. Now, this is another IM which I consider as being very analytical yet very fun sounding and offering rich texture and rich body of sound. And sitting at number 3, I.O. Volare. It is pretty much very similar to High Senior Mega 5 EST, but I do feel that Volare offer a bit more of resolution, especially when it comes to the mid-range all the way to the upper frequency. So it gets number 3 spot. And number 2, one of my personal favorite, FIO FA19. Now, this is a monster detail. It resolves pretty much everything and anything. The kind of extension which is just simply mind-blowing. It offers the kind of experience which I consider as out of this world. And yet, we do have something which literally beats FA19, and that is Acoustune HS2000MX Mark III. Single DD, surprisingly. And this is the IM which I consider as being perfect. Perfect because when I listen to it, I am just simply mind blown with the kind of timbre, with the kind of details, with the kind of resolution, imaging, soundstage, you name it, everything that I can think of, that this IM is just simply perfect. So, you might be wondering, from all the lists which I have shown you earlier, the top 5 of every segment, which one is my personal favorite? Which one is the one that I love from 2024? Without doubt, it is this Acoustune HS2000MX Mark III. Yes, it is expensive at 2009, but this is just simply perfection, which is so very difficult to top. And on top of that, I have a second favorite, which is this Luxury S12 2024, because I am, after all, still a magnetic planar fan, and I have found that this 2024 Luxury S12 is one of the very best, if not the very best. But the funny thing is, you want to know the funny thing? Despite all these two, and despite tons of other IM which I have had the opportunity to try and use in 2024, I still keep finding myself reaching out to this Sivga Nightingale. You might have seen my video 1 year ago, and I have declared that this is my personal favorite. For the simple fact that this Nightingale is the only IM which I have found to be able to give me that immersion factor, the kind of reason for me to love music. It allows me to enjoy my music and not analyze my music. It is the kind of sound which is excellent with timbre, with the body of sound, with the richness itself, and it is definitely non-fatiguing at all. I have literally used this Sivga Nightingale all day long, listening to my music and enjoying myself. Until then, until I can find something which can actually match this Sivga Nightingale, I would still be using it. In the spirit of dongle madness, let's talk about Dongles, the very reason why I started this channel over 2 years ago. You might have seen my video in 2024 that I no longer do rating for dongles. So what I'm gonna do now is just simply share with you my top 5 picks for 2024. Starting with this ultra compact budget dongle under 20 US dollar, which is this Venture Electronic Odo. This thing is in fact priced at just 5 US dollar. So whether you love it, you hate it, it will not be painful to your wallet. And the key thing is that to me personally, I consider this Odo as representation of sound quality, which you normally expect for dongles up to 50 US dollar. And talking of 50 US dollar, under 50 US dollar, then we have here iBasso Junior Macaron, which I reviewed very recently, and also EPZ TP20 Pro, both of which offer the kind of resolution, imaging details, and the kind of dynamic handling, which is just simply excellent for under 50 US dollar. And sitting at number 3, Akliam PD6, which is under 100 US dollar. To me, Akliam PD6 is just the very best. It is just simply a very well tuned, very well balanced dongle, which offer analytical, technical prowess, and at the same time sounding very natural, organic, uncolored, and transparent. For above 100 US dollar, which is Onyx Alpha. Now, you might have seen my video on this Onyx Alpha. I don't have to spend too much time explaining to you how much I love this. This is a prime example of how a proper dongle DAC amp should be. It is rich sounding, it is immersive, it is very analytical, it is wide and open, it is just simply perfect. And then, when I thought that Onyx Alpha, being the final dongle, then iBasso released this iBasso DC07 Pro for category 200 US dollar and above. This, without doubt, is the very best. The Omega dongle for 2024. These two. I love the both of them equally. Equally because I have difficulty choosing which one I would want to use depending on which IM I have, and I have found that I always switch between these two very frequently. Headphone, full-size headphone. And admittedly, last year 2024, I have not covered headphone that much, but I can guarantee you I'll be covering a lot more. So let's just have a look at some of the top picks for 2024 for closed back and open back, starting with open back. And as you can see here, the best open back headphone for 2025 is shared between Aune AR5000 and also Sivga Luan. So let me just introduce to you this Sivga Luan here in my hand. This is perhaps one of the most comfortable headphone which I have tried so far. It is also the kind of sound tuning which I really love, which reminds me a lot to my Sivga Nightingale. So you can see the relationship there. This headphone is just simply amazing when it comes to the timbre, to the resolution, to the imaging, to the overall balance of the sound and the performance itself. I can literally wear this Sivga Luan for hours on end, for gaming, for music, for watching movies, you name it, and it is definitely a winner in my book. And of course, the AR5000. AR5000 is something which I would consider as a monitoring headphone. It is transparent, it is neutral, it is uncolored, and it is a good substitute to Sennheiser HD600. For closed-back headphone, I have two top picks as well, which is Sony MDR M1, which I have reviewed very recently. That is simply a headphone which is a natural successor to the amazing Sony MDR 7506, which I love. And in fact, it is better sounding than MDR 7506 in many ways. And the second one, this here, FIO FT1. This is another amazing closed-back headphone which offer the kind of experience that I consider as wholesome. Wholesome because, first and foremost, it is super comfortable. I was able to wear it for a very long period of time, and the kind of sound tuning which is reminiscent of FIO FT3 with a bit more of dampening in the upper frequency. So this is a bit less bright than FT3, a bit less bright overall, but it is definitely smooth and musical sounding, and at the same time analytical enough to a point that I was able to use it even for monitoring. So FT1 and also Sony MDR M1. Also, in 2024, I have started to do quite a bit of TWS, like the one that I'm wearing right now. This is the best TWS for 2024. This is Ross Technique Ear-Free i5. You might have seen my video on it, my full review. And why I pick it as the very best? Because firstly, it has the best stable LDAC connection to my phone here. And secondly, the excellent 48 dB of noise, active noise cancellation, which really works. And the biggest factor is in fact the app here. Ross Technique i5 and any of the Ross Technique TWS comes with this app, which is super user-friendly, so very easy to use and very, very efficient with all the function here. I was able to fine-tune it properly, and I think one of the another key element which make me love this i5 so very much is that because it exhibits the least amount of latency, especially when listening to YouTube music. Because if you're familiar with TWS and you use LDAC and you listen to music via YouTube, you might notice that there's a bit of latency. But this one, this is the most stable among all of them. Also, in 2024, we are seeing quite a bit of popularity, the emergence of DSP-based IEM. IEMs which are permanently attached to dongles which contain DSP. For example, I have two top picks from this particular segment, which is the High-B Digital Xeno on the budget side, which is under 100 US dollar. That Xeno is just super very versatile. You can easily configure it and you can watch my video on it. And on the upper echelon of DSP-based IEM, we have here Moondrop Concerto, which is my personal favorite. Just watch my video on it and you would understand why I love this concerto so very much. It is just the kind of IEM which I consider as very well balanced. It has the kind of articulation of details, airy soundstage, and the kind of transparency which even allow me to use it as monitoring device. Moving on to the final part, let me just wrap up this video. And what I have in my hand right now is my absolute favorite for 2024. Let me introduce to you this X-Duo XD05T. You might have seen my full review on this, and this is my absolute favorite, a portable tube DAC amp. And the reason it is my absolute favorite because when attached to my Sivga Nightingale here, these two are practically my final end game, the kind of end game which I have been looking for, the kind of sound which offer me perfect immersion into the music itself. I am part of the music. And also, I like to mention this very special dongle here, which is the Heartfield R1. This is special because this is a pure R2R dongle for hardcore purist lover of R2R. So there you have it, some of the very best of 2024. And yet again, I'd like to record officially my thanks and my gratitude for your support in 2024. And I hope that we'll be seeing a lot more exciting stuff coming from Andy Oderwalk in 2025.